Uh, Good evening. Welcome to my video on Grails Days of the Week plugin. It's a new plugin I've put together to manage your days of the week for a locality as such. So at the moment it's in Thailand and it's the days that change, as you can see here. So I'm going to go back to English. I'm going to do a few others. And I think so. I'm going to go back to English so we can understand what's going on, and I'll talk through it. At the moment, we're looking at the plugin doing the method of Bootstrap. And I've explained all of this in the plugin page. So if you go to it and you follow how to use, I've provided a method there to do Bootstrap and a method to do jQuery and the pages that do it. So Bootstrap typically on a Grails 2 application is having to call this to load in Bootstrap. And in the call itself, there's nothing defined. On the jQuery method, I've had to define this because there's no jQuery UI. And on each call to day of the week, I've had to define jQuery UI true, as you can see, and this tells it to load in the jQuery method. So we'll go through all that in a minute. So at the moment, we're looking at Bootstrap. So to talk through what is going on, I've overridden. So we're currently looking at the page in an English point of view. So the text output is in English because of that. But then I've told the plugin to override the locality to be this locality, this locality, and this locality. And when we set the days as none, you can see that the weekend days are different based on which locality you're in. And the days also fall differently depending on where you are. That's their start of their week as such. So that's just really the reason why I've done this. I've used ICU4J libraries, which is some IBM libraries, to bind in with the Java locale to then go off and do the calendar stuff based on that. The actual code that does all this magic is in a hidden away class in this plugin called Days. What have I called it? Days of Week. I'm not sure why it's so slow. Get up Days of Week, and you'll have to read through it, but it declares the days, and then based on the locality, it does this comparison, which kind of puts the days in order and puts the days, which ones are the weekends in this bit. But it does all the magic here based on the locality of the user. So this is the core brains behind what you see. And also when you select stuff, it's a dummy selection. So the user actually selects, I'll show you. In this case, we're going to select, so we're going to do none, and then we're going to select Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. And on this one, we're going to do something like this. And when we submit it, what you actually submit to your controller to the backend is this, which the plugin picks up in this instance and converts this back into this value, and then converts this value back into these days when it displays it. In this scenario, because the bean, you can only bind to the bean once, so where I'm testing it, I've done it in different ways. And in this scenario, we're getting the page to be displayed in a slightly different way, and then we're picking up the list value of this, whatever this is, and then pushing it into, I'll show you. Into something like this to get the bit value of it. And you can see all of this, oops, not here. In example, the MD. Once that loads up. So I'll mess around a little bit more with this, and you can see this working. And And typically what you'd be getting back to store on your database would be this byte value. And then whenever you need to re-edit this, you pass that back into the plugin, and the plugin would display the days for that value. So if we select Wednesday only, this will go down to 8. If we select Monday, the byte value of Monday is 2. Monday and Tuesday together is 6, and so on. And I think the total is some 120, 127. There you go. And that's all of the days. So, right. So now, also, if I show you the jQuery method, which looks quite similar. Haha! Not really. No, it doesn't. How did that not work? Oh, this is the jQuery method now. So, oh, 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 none. Okay. So it's quite similar, but it's not, because it doesn't have Bootstrap. And why doesn't it sound like selected then? Oh, I found the bug. Ah, I know what that is. Okay. That should be pretty simple to fix. All right. Contains. No, it's not that. I'll have to think about this, because when it's the weekend class that's overriding it. I think that should do it. Yeah, that should do it. All days, weekends. Yeah, I think that should do it. Okay, so that's fixed it. And then change that as well. So I'll commit that afterwards. But that fixes that, and it's typically the same thing as the bootstrap method I've just shown you. So what I wanted to run through was what is going on with all this stuff here and how you get this information back for your views. So typically this example here, we've got the index method which flows in. So if we go back to the normal method, and I'm just going to talk through the bootstrap method. So this is the primary method binding into the bean, and this is what gives us the results when we click do it, and we see this. This is the bean results. And that's the first method in the index. The rest of them are this DOW, DOW100, and my DOW, my DOW2, my DOW100. And when it gets those parameters back, it does this from list to bit on the parameter, and it gets back at a byte value, and the byte value gets passed back into our controller, and I'll show you in a minute what the controller does with it. So this is our primary method that we see here, this one here, and it does bind to bean drew, and you could always use this method. You could extend the bean that I've provided you in your own cases, but if you don't want to go down that route, you just keep that out. And what that does is within the plugin, it says if it's binds the bean, it does this thing with the name of the checkbox. Otherwise, it makes the checkbox into a string list, which you can then do parameter list and pick up. Otherwise, it's a iteration list, and it's not as easy to pick up, but it binds to the bean easily. So this is why there's the different methods. So back to here. Show label. Yeah, we've kind of gone through all of this. You can see at the very bottom of this page, I've explained what these things are, so you can go through it yourself. But in the case of our other calls on the page, the other three calls, you can see here it's not got bind to bean, which does that funny thing with the actual checkbox. And we've set the locale, and in some cases we've provided a value. And when you provide this value, it draws out the week from it. So if we go back to index, you'll see some of them are already selected. Like here, we've got Saturday, and on this one we've got Friday, Saturday, Tuesday selected. So that will be these values here. So if we remove none and put Saturday on, well, actually we'll do it here. That's 64, and that's what we've passed in on this page here. And 100, as we saw, I think was Friday, and Saturday. What was it? Friday, Saturday, and Tuesday is 100, like this one here. Activate all. If you've got no value set, then it by default puts them all on. And obviously in this case, what we've got is the my DOW, my DOW2, and my DOW100. And when it picks them up, you can see here, this is how it's converting them, and it gets converted to the byte value. And on index on test 2, it sets the value of DOW to my DOW or my DOW2 or that. And when it sets that, so when we submit something, it takes whatever that value converts to and redraws that page for you. So that's the whole plugin explained now, I hope. You can read through these bits to try and understand it better and use the plugin in your own way. That is it. I hope you enjoy the plugin. It's quite a small plugin which does specifically this days of the week according to ICU4J. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Bye bye.